When nobody believes in you, the most important thing you must learn is that belief has to begin within. The world may be silent when you speak your dreams. They may laugh when you share your vision. But the moment you allow their disbelief to shape your self-worth, you've already lost the first battle. What matters is not who claps for you, not who validates your vision, but what you see when you close your eyes at night. It's easy to believe in yourself when the crowd is cheering. It's far more powerful and far more important to believe in yourself when all you hear is doubt. There is something unshakable about the kind of belief that doesn't rely on anyone else's voice. Because at your lowest moments, you won't always have someone picking you up. At your darkest hour, you won't always have people reminding you of your worth. In fact, the world often ignores those who need support the most until they make it. That's the cruel irony of life. People believe in you only when you no longer need their belief. So, if you're waiting for someone to come and rescue your confidence, you'll be waiting for a long time. Instead, you must look in the mirror and speak belief into yourself. You must become the voice that says, "I can," even when everyone else says you can't. Every successful person has walked through the fog of loneliness. They've heard the whispers, seen the rolled eyes, and felt the sting of rejection. But the reason they made it isn't because the world eventually believed in them. It's because they believed in themselves long enough, strong enough, and hard enough for the world to catch up. Belief is not a feeling, it's a decision. You wake up and decide to show up, even when no one notices. You decide to keep going even when the results are invisible. That kind of belief is born from something deeper than external validation. It's born from pain, purpose, and persistence. It's that voice that whispers, "Keep going," when your own mind says, "Give up." It's that flame that refuses to die, even when the winds of failure blow stronger than ever. There are moments in life when your vision will make sense only to you. When you tell others, they won't get it. Not because you're wrong, but because they weren't given your eyes. You were shown something for your life that they were never meant to understand. So stop expecting them to see it. Stop needing their confirmation. Your path is yours alone, and the longer you wait for a crowd to cheer you on, the longer you delay the steps you must take. Some people will never believe in you because your existence challenges theirs. Your ambition makes them uncomfortable. Your drive reminds them of the dreams they gave up on. Don't take it personally. Their disbelief says more about them than it does about you. If anything, use it as proof that you're on the right path. If nobody's doubting you, you're probably not dreaming big enough. If no one's questioning you, you're not shaking enough ground. And when you do fall, and you will, it's yourself, belief that will decide whether you stay down or rise again. External belief disappears quickly when things go wrong. The people who once smiled may vanish, the support may go silent. But when your belief is rooted deep inside of you, no storm can uproot you. You may bend, but you won't break. You may fall, but you'll rise faster because belief gives you bounce, it gives you backbone. There's a quiet confidence in someone who keeps building in the dark. While others seek spotlight, they focus on structure. While others chase likes, they chase legacy. They don't scream their potential, they prove it. They don't beg to be seen, they build so big they can't be ignored. That's the power of belief. It allows you to be patient in the process. It teaches you that silence is not failure, it's foundation. The problem with seeking belief from others is that people are fickle. They change, they forget, they project their own limitations onto you. One day they cheer, the next they doubt. You cannot anchor your self-worth to such shifting tides. Your value is not up for a vote. You're not a product of opinion. You're a product of persistence. And belief is what keeps that persistence alive when the world gives you every reason to quit. The truth is, belief is contagious, but only once it's proven. People don't believe in potential, they believe in results. And results come only when you believe long before there's any proof. You've got to trust yourself when there's nothing to show. You've got to walk through that desert with no map, no support, no crowd. Because on the other side of that lonely journey is the life you've been dreaming about, but only those who believe make it far enough to see it. So today, if nobody believes in you, good. That means you're not relying on anyone else's energy. That means you're learning to create your own. That means you're becoming your own source of power, your own motivator, your own guide. The strongest people in this world are not the ones who were supported from day one. They are the ones who walked through the fire alone and came out gold. Don't wait for belief, become it. Don't ask for support, build without it. Don't beg to be seen. Create something so undeniable that the world has no choice but to notice. Your time is coming, but it begins with what you decide in this moment. Will you crumble because nobody claps? Or will you rise because you choose to believe, loudly, fearlessly, and relentlessly, in yourself? Because when belief starts within, nothing outside can break you. Rejection hurts, doubt stings, but if you know how to use it, it can become the greatest fuel you've ever had. The second key to rising when nobody believes in you is to turn that rejection, that disbelief, into relentless drive. Every "you're not good enough," every "you won't make it," every closed door, every laugh behind your back, those are not setbacks, they are spark plugs. The world may throw shade, but you can choose to turn that shade into your shelter, a space to build, to grow, to prepare in silence. You don't rise in spite of the doubt. You rise because of it. There's something powerful about a person who learns to feed off the very things that were supposed to destroy them. When they said you wouldn't succeed, did you feel the fire rise in your chest? That fire is not anger. That's your soul waking up. That's your spirit telling you that this moment is a test, not a defeat. It's a fork in the road. You can either take the easy path of self-pity, or you can take the hard road and prove them wrong. Most people choose comfort, but the ones who change the game, they choose the grind, they choose the sweat. They choose the silence and the hustle, and they never forget how that rejection made them feel, because it becomes their secret weapon. People often think that the absence of support means the presence of failure, but that's not how greatness works. The most successful individuals in the world weren't handed belief, they earned it. They didn't rise because people clapped. They rose because people doubted, and they used that doubt like jet fuel. When nobody handed them a path, they carved one. When nobody held their hand, they clenched their fists and kept walking. That's what relentless drive looks like. It's not about talent, it's about grit. It's about using every no as a step up, every failure as a foundation, and every insult as a reason to go harder. Doubt can crush you or it can challenge you, and that choice is yours. The world may expect you to fold. They may expect you to walk away, and in that moment you have a chance, a rare chance, to surprise everyone, especially yourself. The most beautiful part of turning rejection into fuel is not proving others wrong. It's discovering how powerful you actually are. You start to realize that you don't need perfect conditions. You don't need praise. All you need is that stubborn voice inside that refuses to quit. Let's be real, there will be days when rejection is heavy, when it feels like the world is unified against your dream. But the question isn't whether you'll face rejection. The question is what you'll do with it. Will you let it define you or refine you? Rejection is life's way of redirecting you. Sometimes the door that slams in your face isn't a denial, it's a test. Life wants to see if you'll knock again, or if you'll go build your own damn door. And when you build that door, you remember every moment they laughed, every time they said it's impossible. You remember the people who ghosted you, the ones who underestimated you, the ones who said, "That's cute, but maybe aim smaller." And then you push. You push harder than you ever thought possible, because now you're not just working for a goal, you're working with a reason. That reason is your armor. That reason is your edge. That reason is what separates those who wish from those who work. You must become addicted to the process of proving yourself. Not because you need their validation, but because it sharpens you. When you're driven by rejection, your hustle changes. You're no longer just going through the motions. You're building something personal. It's emotional, it's spiritual, it's a war you've chosen to win, not just against the world, but against your own limits. Every obstacle becomes an opportunity to test how much you want it, and that's where champions are born, in the pressure, in the friction, in the fire that doubt provides. You may not have support, but that doesn't mean you lack strength. In fact, the less support you have, the more strength you must find. The more people who don't believe in you, the more reasons you have to become undeniable. Don't fight the doubt, thank it. Because every time someone says you can't, they are handing you another brick to build your empire. Every hater is a blessing in disguise. Every doubter is a disguised cheerleader, because their disbelief is what pushes you to be better, faster, sharper, stronger. That doesn't mean you won't feel pain. That doesn't mean you won't question yourself. There will be moments of silence, moments when you think, maybe they're right. But that's the exact moment you must rise. That's the precise second when transformation happens. When you decide to push through the doubt, not just theirs, but your own, you become unstoppable. You become a force that doesn't wait for permission. You become the kind of person who doesn't need applause to take action. Relentless drive isn't loud, it's not flashy, it's not for show. It's a quiet storm inside you. It's waking up early when no one's watching. It's staying late when everyone else quits. It's doing the work day after day with no promise of a reward. And then, when the results come, they come loud, they echo. They silence the noise that once tried to drown you. And in that moment, you'll remember the doubt not with bitterness, but with gratitude, because it made you who you are. So the next time someone says you won't make it, smile. The next time they doubt you, nod your head. Because you know something they don't. You know that doubt isn't a wall, it's a door to your next level. A door that opens only for those who keep knocking with bloodied knuckles and fire in their hearts. You are not weak because they said no. You are powerful because you chose to keep going anyway. Let their doubt feed your discipline. Let their silence spark your focus. Let their rejection write your comeback. You are not defined by what they see. You are defined by what you do when they look away. Turn that rejection into your reason. Let every you can't become watch me. Because when the world says no, your answer should always be, I wasn't asking. In a world obsessed with instant gratification, applause, and validation, the most dangerous mistake you can make is tying your worth to how loud the world claps for you. The truth is, most of the time there will be no applause, no recognition, no spotlight, especially at the beginning. And if you rely on external validation to fuel your journey, you'll run out of energy before you've even started. That's why you must trust the process, not the applause. The process is the silent part of success. It's the long nights no one sees, the early mornings that never make the highlight reels, the sacrifices that don't get celebrated. It's unglamorous, it's exhausting, and it's necessary, because growth never happens on stage, it happens backstage. Before the crowd arrives, before the lights come on, before anyone knows your name, that's where champions are built. That's where legends are born, in the unseen hours, where the only thing keeping you going is your commitment to becoming who you said you would be. Applause is a drug. It feels good in the moment, but it fades fast. You can't depend on it because it's inconsistent. People's opinions change, their attention shifts. One day they'll cheer you, the next they'll forget you. But the process that's steady, it doesn't lie. It gives you exactly what you put into it, no more, no less. If you show up daily, push through resistance, and stay loyal to the mission, the process will reward you. Not right away, but eventually. And when it does, it'll be on your terms, not because the crowd said you're worthy, but because you made yourself worthy. Those who succeed are not the ones who crave applause. They're the ones who have fallen in love with the grind. They understand that every brick laid in silence matters, that every small step forward counts, even if no one's watching. Because they've learned that success isn't about attention, it's about alignment. When your actions align with your purpose, that's where real fulfillment lives. That's where confidence is built, not from people telling you you're great, but from knowing you showed up for yourself when nobody else did. This is why most people never reach their potential. They chase applause, not mastery. They want praise without pain, results without discipline. They quit when the crowd is quiet. But those who trust the process, they keep going. They keep working in the dark, knowing that one day the light will find them, and when it does, they'll be ready, not because they got lucky, but because they built themselves to handle it. You have to ask yourself, why am I doing this? Is it for claps, or is it for impact? Is it to impress others, or is it to become who you were born to be? If your reason is applause, you'll burn out. But if your reason is growth, you'll thrive. Because the process doesn't care how many followers you have. It doesn't care about likes, shares, or praise. It only cares about effort. Are you showing up? Are you putting in the work? Are you getting better, even when no one is watching? And that's the real test. Can you stay committed when there's no feedback? Can you stay focused when no one's giving you credit? That's where the winners separate themselves. Because anyone can work when they're being watched. Anyone can push when people are cheering. But true greatness is forged in silence. In those quiet hours when it's just you, your grind, and your vision. Applause is temporary. The process is forever. You'll find that the most powerful people in the world are often the quietest during the build. They don't talk, they do. They don't wait, they act. They don't show off, they show up. Day after day, with consistency, with patience, with purpose, and eventually the world takes notice not because they begged for it, but because they earned it. You can't fake consistency, you can't cheat the process, you can't shortcut the path. If you skip steps, you sabotage yourself. The slow, painful journey is what molds your character. It prepares you not just to get success, but to sustain it. That's the difference between people who peak and people who last. The ones who trust the process build something real, something that can't be taken away when the applause stops. The applause will come, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but it will. The question is, will you still be grinding when it does? Or will you have given up because it took too long? So many dreams die not because they were impossible, but because people expected applause too soon. They expected overnight results, they mistook silence for failure, but silence isn't failure, it's the sound of you becoming unbreakable. You have to be okay with being misunderstood, with being underestimated, with being doubted, because those are all signs that you're doing something right. The greatest stories always start with resistance. The most iconic journeys always begin with disbelief. If you're not getting applause, it means you're building something deeper, something that's not meant to impress in the moment, but to inspire for a lifetime. So embrace the quiet, embrace the grind, let the process be your applause, let your consistency be your claps. Let your growth be your standing ovation, because one day people will look at your results and they'll ask how you did it. And you'll smile, not because you need their praise, but because you know the answer. You trusted the process when nobody else did. You didn't rush it, you didn't fake it, you didn't quit. You showed up again and again, and eventually your discipline became louder than their doubts. Your results became louder than their silence. That's the moment the applause becomes real, but by then you won't need it. Because you'll already know what they're just discovering, that greatness isn't about being seen, it's about becoming something worth seeing. And that only happens when you trust the process more than you chase the applause. There's something powerful about silence. Something unshakable about a person who lets their results speak for them. When nobody believes in you and the world gives you every reason to quit, you don't argue, you don't scream for recognition, you don't beg to be understood, you work. You work in silence, you build in darkness, and then one day you show the world exactly who you are through your success. Because at the end of the day, success is the loudest answer to silence. In life, people will doubt you long before they ever support you. They'll question your abilities, ridicule your dreams, and act like they know your limits better than you do. It's easy to feel like you have to defend yourself, to prove your worth through words. But words are weak in a world full of opinions. Everyone talks, everyone gives their 2 cents, but very few build, very few rise, very few do what you're about to do, turn silence into success. Success doesn't need an introduction. It doesn't need validation. It doesn't require approval. It just is. It's the evidence the world can't argue with. When you reach a level of accomplishment that they said was impossible for you, there's no speech necessary. The same people who ignored you, laughed at you, rejected you, they begin to watch you, some in awe, some in envy, but none can deny what you've built, because when success walks into a room, the noise disappears. It demands attention, not by force, but by undeniable presence. The beautiful thing about choosing to let your success speak is that you free yourself from emotional battles. You no longer waste energy trying to convince people who already made up their minds about you. You no longer shrink or stretch yourself for acceptance. You just do the work, you put your head down and grind. Every insult, every failure, every rejection, you take it in, you absorb it, and you pour it back into your craft. That's how the greats are made. They don't respond to noise, they respond with results. Think about how many people gave up because no one believed in them. Think about how many dreams died because the dreamer couldn't stand being overlooked. Now think about how many legends were born in that same silence, people who were doubted, dismissed, disregarded, and instead of breaking, they built. They took that silence and used it as a blank canvas. They painted their future with every brushstroke of discipline. And in the end, the picture they created was too bold, too brilliant, too big to be ignored. That's what you must do. Don't argue, don't explain yourself to people who never intended to understand you. Just keep building. Keep training, keep learning. Let your growth be so undeniable that one day, those same people who doubted you are forced to respect you, even if it burns them inside. Because success has a way of flipping the script. It turns "you'll never make it" into "I always believed in you, but you'll know the truth." You'll remember the silence, and it'll make your victory that much sweeter. But here's the thing, you don't chase success to prove them wrong. You chase it to prove yourself right, because deep down, you've always known who you are. You've always felt that pull, that calling, that voice telling you there's more inside you than they can see. The journey isn't about revenge, it's about revelation. Revealing to yourself what you're truly capable of. That's why success tastes better when it's earned in silence, because you know what it cost. You know what you endured. You know how many nights you wanted to quit but didn't. Let your work be your weapon. Let your discipline be your defense. Let your focus be your fire. Stop responding to the noise. Stop giving them the satisfaction of watching you squirm for approval. Instead, easy to predict, give them mystery, stacking EAWISNY to control. And then, when the time is right, let the world see what you've become, not for their praise, but as proof of your resilience. The truth is, people rarely believe in you until you give them no other choice. That's just how the world works. So stop waiting for them to get it. Stop hoping they'll wake up and support you. That's not their job. It's yours. Your job is to believe so deeply in yourself that their disbelief becomes irrelevant. Your job is to become so focused that their noise fades into the background. Your job is to create a life so real that no one can deny you anymore, and you absolutely can. Because everything you need is already inside you. You don't need louder words, you need stronger action. You don't need more attention, you need more consistency. You don't need more followers, you need more follow-through. That's what separates the dreamers from the doers. That's what builds empires out of ashes. That's what transforms the underdog into the one everyone watches. So the next time someone says you can't, don't reply, just smile. The next time they overlook you, let them. The next time they doubt you, let their words float away like smoke. And keep your eyes on the flame you're building. One day, they'll look again, and what they see will silence every doubt, every insult, every laugh. Because success is louder than any voice trying to tear you down. Don't announce your moves, execute them. Don't seek validation, validate yourself. Don't try to be loud in a noisy world. Be silent, be focused, and be relentless. Because in the end, the world listens to results, and the most powerful voice is the one that never needed to scream to be heard. You were not meant to blend in. You were not made to chase claps. You were built to rise, to lead, to inspire, not through noise, but through undeniable proof of what belief, discipline, and vision can create. So, walk through the doubt with your head high, build what they said you couldn't, and let your success speak for you, loud, clear, and without apology.